Malaga Radio.
Freshly squeezed.
The juice on all the daily events along the coast.
With just a little bit of zest.
Hola, and welcome to the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary, your guide to the best events and experiences on the Costa del Sol, from Monday 18th to Sunday 24th of August. I'm Carmen.
And I'm Baptiste. This week, we've got everything from traditional village ferias to rooftop jazz nights, beachside food festivals to open-air cinema. And of course, the big build-up to the Malaga Feria is in full swing.
If you're already feeling the Feria fever, our Malaga Feria special podcast is out now. A front row seat to all the color, music, and energy, ready to get you in the mood.
We'll take you through festivals and traditions, culture and exhibitions, food and hospitality, music and nightlife, and sports and outdoors, plus a special travel tip in every segment to help you make the most of your time here. Let's dive in.
Malaga Radio.
You're listening to the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary. I'm Carmen, here with Baptiste. And this week, the coast is still buzzing from the opening days of the Malaga Feria. If you haven't caught our Feria special yet, it's out now, and it'll walk you through every plaza, parade, and caseta, like you're right there with us.
And while the Feria in Malaga City is still stealing plenty of the headlines, there's so much happening across the province that we just couldn't keep it all to ourselves. Think centuries-old fairs, torchlit pilgrimages, and a festival that celebrates three cultures all in one beautiful hilltop village. So let's start with one of my favorites for pure history and tradition. If Malaga's Feria is about big city glamour, Antequera's Real Feria de Agosto, running from the 20th to the 24th, is about stepping into living history. This is Spain's oldest fair, granted royal privilege back in 1748 by King Fernando VI, and it still carries that regal air today.
It's one of those places where you feel the town's pride in every detail, from the solemn Romería del Señor de la Verónica that opens the festivities to the Pora Antequerana contest where locals compete to see who makes the creamiest version of the town's famous cold tomato and bread soup. And let's be honest, I'd happily judge that competition myself.
You would be a very thorough judge, Carmen, but beyond the food, Antequera's fairground is alive with authentic caseta culture, family-run tents, traditional flamenco, equestrian displays, and even a bit of bullfighting for those who follow that tradition. And if you've only seen Antequera during the day, you need to see the way the historic center glows at night during the feria.
From bright lights to torchlight, Archidona's Romería Nocturna to the San Teodoro de la Virgen de Gracia is something really special. It's the only nighttime pilgrimage in Malaga province, and it's been declared a festival of provincial tourist singularity. This year, it sets off on the night of August 14th, arriving at dawn on the 15th.
Hard to put into words just how atmospheric it is. Thousands of pilgrims walk ancient olive-lined paths, each carrying a torch, creating this slow-moving river of light up the hillside. And at the sanctuary, you get that mix of sacred devotion and Andalusian celebration. Music from the Hermanos Ortigosa as the first light hits the church.
If you go, wear comfortable shoes and take some water. It's a long walk, but the sense of community is incredible. You're part of something that's been happening for centuries, and it's completely free to join. They even run free buses from surrounding towns if you don't want to walk the whole way.
And while it's technically just outside our week, running August 28th to 31st, the Festival de las Tres Culturas in Frigiliana is worth planning for now. This whitewashed hill town celebrates the Christian, Islamic, and Sephardic heritage that shaped Andalusia, and it turns the entire old quarter into a living museum.
There are over 150 artisan stalls, live music that ranges from medieval Andalusian to contemporary fusion, and the famous Ruta de la Tapa, where every stop on the trail tells a story through food. I went last year, and it's almost impossible not to come home with something, whether it's a hand-painted ceramic or just way too many bags of almond sweets.
And the views, those narrow streets open out onto balconies where you can see the mountains meet the sea, add in the fact that this is one of the friendliest crowds you'll find all summer, and you've got a festival that's as much about connection as it is about culture.
Okay, before we get carried away, here are some other traditions you will want to miss this week. Fiesta del Gazpacho de los Tres Golpes. Alfarnatejo, high-altitude village life, traditional gazpacho made the three-stroke way, and free tastings all day. Noche del Vino, Cómpeta, morning grape pressing, Mijas for lunch, and Verdiales music until dawn, all washed down with 20 arrobas of sweet wine. Feria de Benamargosa, 3 days of Axarquia tradition, including horse competitions in the river and concerts from Russell and OBK.
Concurso de Espetos, Torremolinos. Sardines cures grilled over olive wood, with the region's top espeteros competing for the crown. If the Noche del Vino has you curious, why not make a day of it with a guided tour along the Cómpeta wine route? You can visit family-run vineyards, watch traditional grape pressing, and taste the muscatel sweet wines that have put this little Axarquia town on the international wine map.
It's one of those experiences where you don't just taste the wine. You meet the people behind it, hear their stories, and understand why these traditions matter. And it's a perfect way to escape the coast for a day and see the mountainside of Malaga province. So whether it's the elegance of Antequera's fair, the candlelit devotion of Archidona's pilgrimage, or the cultural mix of Frigiliana, this week's traditions are as diverse as they are unforgettable.
And don't forget, if Malaga City's Farea is on your list, we've got a whole Farea special waiting for you. Just search Malaga Radio on your favorite podcast platform. Up next, we're stepping inside the art galleries, museums, and cultural spaces for this week's culture and exhibitions.
Malaga Radio.
From the energy of the fairs to the quieter but no less vibrant world of galleries, music halls, and open-air stages, welcome to the culture and exhibitions part of the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary.
And remember, even during Feria Week in Malaga City, the cultural calendar across the province doesn't take a break. In fact, some venues use this time to stage events that give you a little breather from the fiestas. Let's start with a truly unique experience happening right here in the heart of the city. Imagine sitting under the stars in the shadow of the Alcazaba, listening to the Malaga Philharmonic Orchestra weave through a program of Spanish classical pieces. This isn't your average concert hall evening. It's part of the Alcazaba Night series, where history and music meet in the open air.
There's something magical about hearing the notes drift across the ancient stone walls. And because these concerts are deliberately intimate, you feel like you're part of something a little secret. If you're looking for a night out that feels luxurious, but still rooted in Malaga's heritage, this is it.
Bring a light jacket, evenings can be breezy up there, and maybe a camera, because the views over the city lights are almost as breathtaking as the music. Of course, no cultural roundup in Malaga would be complete without mentioning Picasso. The Casa Natal, his birthplace museum, has a summer exhibition running through August that focuses on his lesser-known ceramics and sketches. It's a side of Picasso that's playful, experimental, and a little more personal than the grand oil paintings.
And the best part, the exhibition is small enough to enjoy without that museum fatigue you sometimes get. You can take your time, then step straight into Plaza de la Merced for a coffee and people watching, because that's also part of the cultural experience here.
Heading up into the hills, Mijas Pueblo is hosting its International Theater Week. Performances spill out from the main theater into the plazas, so you might catch a Shakespeare scene on one corner and Andalusian folk storytelling on another.
It's one of those festivals where the setting becomes part of the performance. The whitewashed streets, the scent of jasmine, the way the sound carries in the mountain air. You could wander without a plan and still come away with a dozen memorable moments.
And if you don't speak Spanish fluently, don't worry. A lot of productions are either in English or use enough physical theater that you can follow along without every word.
And here are a few more cultural highlights worth noting this week. Contemporary art at CAC Malaga, rotating exhibitions of modern Spanish and international artists, always free to enter. Open-air flamenco at the Nerca Caves Auditorium, dramatic natural backdrop for live dance and guitar performances. Photographic exhibition in the Estepona Orchidarium, nature meets art in a series of botanical close-ups. Classical guitar evenings in Ronda, intimate recitals inside the Palacio de Mondragón courtyard.
If you're planning to make culture a big part of your week, the Malaga Pass cultural card is worth considering. It gives you entry to over 20 museums and monuments, from the Pompidou Center to the Russian Museum collection, and even includes some guided tours.
It's not just about saving money, it's about unlocking the city. You can decide on the day whether you're in the mood for contemporary photography, Roman ruins, or a classic Andalusian garden. And with fast-track entry at some sites, you spend more time exploring and less time queuing.
So whether you're soaking up the strings of the Philharmonic, standing face-to-face with a Picasso sketch, or catching theater under the mountain stars in Mijas, culture here comes with a very personal touch.
And up next, we're trading art for appetite. The food and hospitality segment is on the way, and trust me, it's just as rich and colorful
Malaga Radio.
Translated from culture for the mind, we now move to culture for the senses. And here on the Costa del Sol, that means food. August isn't just about the beach and the feria. It's also peak season for some of the most vibrant culinary events of the year.
Exactly. Whether you're into traditional village festivals, gourmet tastings, or just chasing that perfect sunset table, there's something this week that will make you very glad you skipped the hotel buffet. Let's start by going straight to the source, the sea. Torremolinos is hosting its Fiesta del Pescado this week in the La Carihuela district, and it's basically a love letter to fried fish.
Not just any fried fish. This is Andalusian-style pescado, light and crispy, usually served in paper cones so you can wander along the promenade. Sardines, anchovies, tiny squid, all kissed by the fryer, and best eaten with your fingers.
And the best part? The whole neighborhood turns it into a party. There's live music, plenty of locals mixing with visitors, and that unmistakable scent of fresh seafood drifting through the sea breeze.
We touched on this in festivals and traditions, but Noche del Vino in Cómpeta deserves a spot here too because for food lovers, it's more than just a wine festival. Alongside the endless pours of sweet muscatel, you get Mijas, that hearty Andalusian dish of fried bread, crumbs, garlic, and chorizo, often with a fried egg perched on top.
Combine that with live Verdial's music, and you've got one of those evenings where your glass is never empty and neither is your plate. And if variety is your flavor, a Frigiliana's Festival de las Culturas, its famous Ruta de la Tapa, a tapas route that ties in with events Christian, Islamic, and Sephardic heritage.
Think Moroccan spices on slow-cooked lamb, Spanish cheeses paired with fig jam, little pastries with honey that could have come straight from a medieval kitchen. You buy a small booklet and each participating bar stamps it as you go. It's part foodie adventure, part treasure hunt. Here are a few more bites to add to your list this week. Espeto sardine grilling workshops, Malaga beaches. Learn the coastal art of skewering sardines and cooking them over open olive wood fires. Seafood nights, Esteponaport. Pop-up stalls and terrace restaurants serving shellfish feasts into the small hours. Churros and chocolate morning, Vélez Malaga. Market vendors serve extra thick Spanish hot chocolate with fresh fried churros. Perfect for a lazy start. Wine and jazz sunsets, Marbella Boardwalk. Pair local wines with live jazz as the sun sets over the Med.
If you want a one-stop shop for Andalusian flavors, the Mercado Central de Atarazanas in Malaga City is unbeatable. The building itself is a stunner, all stained glass and ironwork, but the real show is in the stalls.
Olives in every shade of green, salt-cured tuna, bright red prawns from the coast, and piles of sun-warmed tomatoes. Many vendors will let you taste before you buy, and if you time it right, you can grab a stool at one of the little bars inside for a plate of the day's freshest catch. So from sardines on the beach to medieval-inspired tapas in Frigiliana, this week is basically a movable feast.
And next, we'll turn up the volume, literally. Music and Nightlife is coming up, and the Costa del Sol is ready to deliver from sunset sets to all-night parties.
Malaga Radio.
And now we're turning the volume up. It's music and nightlife on the weekly diary. And what a week this is shaping up to be. We've got Starlight Magic in Marbella, big voices at Mare Nostrum, and plenty of smaller gigs that pack just as much charm. So whether you're into Latin ballad, indie pop, or dancing under the stars, you're covered.
Let's start with Starlight in Marbella. Monday the 18th is their legendary white party. The one night the quarry turns into an ocean of white outfits, live sets, and DJs until the early hours. It's not just about dancing. It's about being part of the Starlight family for a night.
And the very next evening, Tuesday the 19th, Stale slows the tempo but turns up the heart with Siempre Así. This group is pure Andalusian joy, flamenco pop, harmonies, infectious rhythms, and a warmth that feels like a family reunion. You'll probably leave singing their choruses without even realizing you know them.
Also on the 19th, over at Mare Nostrum Fuengirola, there's a different vibe entirely. Hey, kid, think youthful indie pop with a Mediterranean twist, right on the seafront. Great one if you fancy something fresh before heading into Feria weekend.
Wednesday the 20th brings a touch of Mexico to the Costa del Sol with Alejandro Fernandez at Starlight. They call him El Potrillo. the little colt. But there's nothing small about this performance. Expect soaring rancheras, heartfelt ballads, and that velvety voice filling the Marbella night.
And if you're in the mood for homegrown talent, India Martinez takes the Starlight stage on Thursday the 21st. She blends flamenco roots with pop sophistication, and every song feels like a personal story. The staging's gorgeous too. Rich colors, flowing dresses, dramatic lighting.
Friday the 22nd, we've got Pastora Soler, another powerhouse voice from Spain. She's one of those artists who can go from whisper to spine-tingling bells in a single phrase. You'll get ballads, you'll get drama, and you'll probably get goosebumps.
And on Saturday the 23rd, we close the week with Leva, rock en l'espagnol, delivered with swagger. His shows have this raw, lived-in energy that's hard to fake. If you like your Spanish rock with a poetic edge, he's your man.
Now for some smaller but no less brilliant nights out. On Monday the 18th, head to La Cochera Cabaret in Malaga for Blues Stompers Jump Review. A blast of swing and jump blues that'll have you dancing whether you planned to or not.
Tuesday the 19th, La Negra Tomasa in Torremolinos is serving up a Cuban salsa night. Live band, mojitos, and that irresistible Havana energy. Perfect for shaking off the day.
If you're in Estepona on Thursday the 21st, check out Plaza del Reloj for an open-air flamenco fusion concert. Local guitarists and dancers bringing modern twists to classic rhythms, and it's free.
And for something late week, Saturday the 23rd at Sala Trinquera in Malaga has Los Electroduendes, a quirky electro-rock outfit that never takes itself too seriously, great for a high-energy night.
Plus, all week you'll find intimate acoustic sessions at Muelle Uno in Malaga, perfect for a sunset drink before heading into the main event. Here's your music and nightlife travel tip. If you're heading to a big concert at Starlight or Mare Nostrum, plan your journey like it's part of the night out. These venues can get busy, and parking fills fast. Shuttle buses, ride shares, or even a pre-show dinner nearby can make the whole thing smoother. And if you're not tied to the front row, some of the best memories come from hanging back a little. You can dance, chat, and soak up the atmosphere without the crush.
So, from grand stages to hidden terraces, the Costa del Sol is playing your song. This week, we'll swap music for movement next as we dive into sports and outdoors. Perfect for burning off those dance floor calories.
Or just making space for the next night out. Either way, don't go anywhere.
Malaga Radio.
You're with us on the Malaga Radio Weekly Diary, and while the Feria is still in full swing this week, there's a whole other side to Agosto on the Costa del Sol, getting outside, moving, and maybe working off some of that pescadito frita.
From sunrise paddleboarding to late-night beach volleyball, this week's sports and outdoors lineup isn't just for the pros. It's for anyone who loves the coast, the hills, or just an excuse to be in the sun.
Let's start right on the sand in Marbella, where Playa del Cauel is hosting the Costa del Sol Beach Volleyball Open on Saturday 23rd. This isn't just a local league game. We're talking international teams, DJ sets between matches, and the kind of sunset crowd that feels more like a festival. Best bit? You can sign up for the Open Amateur Games earlier in the day.
From sand to saddle, over in Estepania's Sunday 24th is the Andalusia Equestrian Showdown at the Escuela de Arte Equestre Costa del Sol. It's one of those days where you can be up close with Andalusian stallions, see precision dressage, and even try a short riding class yourself. Families love it because the stable's open for tours in the morning.
And for something that combines sport with serious scenery, the Nerca Cliff to Cove Swim Challenge on Friday 22nd. Swimmers start from Burriana Beach, head past the cave's cliffs, and finish in a tucked-away cove only accessible from the water. There's a kids' mini swim in the shallows too, so it's not all hardcore.
If you prefer two wheels to two arms, Mijas has its Coastal Sunset Bike Ride on Wednesday 20th. It's a guided group ride starting in La Cala, rolling past boardwalks, beach bars, and ending with tapas. It's more social than sporty, so even holiday bikes from your hotel will do.
Also worth noting, full moon paddleboarding, Benalmádena, Monday 18th, glowing boards, glowing moon, and offset. Los Costa del Golf Summer Cup, Atalaya Golf, Thursday 21st. Charity Tournament, open to visiting players. Family Kayak Day, Torre del Mar, Saturday 23rd. Celesiesque gentle paddle to the lighthouse, picnic included. Open air yoga, Playa de la Malagüeta, daily at 8 a.m. Mats provided. Donations welcome. Paddle surf relay, Fuengirola Marina, Sunday 24th. teams of 4 spectators get the harbor views.
This week's Malaga radio travel tip. If you're here with family, try the multi-activity beach clubs. Places like Holiday World in Benalmádena or the Bahia Beach Club in Estepona often have day passes that bundle paddleboarding, kayak hire, beach volleyball courts, and even kids' splash parks. One fee, full day of activity, and no one gets bored.
So whether you're watching world-class horses, diving into Mediterranean coves, or just finding your flow in beach yoga, August is still serving up pure Costa del Sol outdoor magic. And yes, even if you're here for the feria, a couple of hours on a paddleboard might just be the perfect balance.
Malaga Radio.
And that's a wrap for this week's Malaga Radio Weekly Diary. You can listen back to this episode and read the matching blog at malagaradio.com, the home for all our shows, podcasts, and stories.
And if you want to see every event we've mentioned, plus hundreds more, all plotted on an interactive map, head over to malagaradio.net.
We're live every morning from 8 to 11 with Freshly Squeezed, bringing you the day's events and giving you a heads up on the big ones coming later in the week.
Thanks for joining us. Nos vemos en la feria and see you next week.
Malaga Radio.